Can I tell a story?
Yes, please.
Was it around mid-90s? Around the mid-90s, Michael Jordan had won 5 national championships with the Chicago Bulls. He was pretty much hailed as the greatest basketball player of all time. And people treated him like the second coming. Michael Jordan was the thing in the United States of America and worldwide, actually. Mm-hmm. And one day he says, you know what? I'm going to go play baseball. And he signed up for, I think it was the White Sox.
It was, yeah. It was. I remember that.
Well, it's still Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's going to play baseball. And obviously, since he was the greatest basketball player of all time, he went up there and became the greatest baseball player of all time, and he's now enshrined in the Hall of Fame, and he hit more home runs than anyone else ever, stole more bases, and wait.
That didn't You focus on what you're good at.
Hold on. No, he went and played, I think had played before, so he got to play like Double-A, but he never made it to the big leagues, did he?
No. I don't think he did. No.
Because it was a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're good at one thing and now you want to do another thing, you have to start over. You have to go down to the very basics of everything. Now, yes, running is part of basketball and part of baseball, but there's nothing in basketball that teaches you how to hit a fastball or a curveball or to make a decision on which pitch to hit, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to go back to the very basics. Anytime you're going to learn a new skill, go back to the very basics and know exactly what you're doing. Here's where we are, guys. We have been in a maintenance mode for a long time, maintaining our block of business, and we've learned how to do that pretty well. We've gotten into a point of what I would call leveling off, where we're doing kind of the same thing over and over, but we're not progressing in our skill set, so to say. We're not seeing, we're doing it, it's good, doing a good job, but no one's really like increasing their numbers. No one's getting a higher level of referrals. No one's having a higher level of upsells. No one's just blowing their numbers out of the park and improving everything. What we're doing is we're doing steady, good job. And that's what happens when you do the same thing over and over. You get to a point where it becomes routine, and it gets really hard to change and improve because the pattern is so ingrained in you for such a period of time that it becomes routine and you begin doing it. Now, the initiative I want to have, and we talk to everyone, and we believe in you guys, your abilities for sure, that let's go out of our maintenance, maintaining our block of business, and let's really try to grow our business back. Let's try to grow it. Let's go from the 13,000, 14,000 customers we are, let's make it 30,000. Mm-hmm. In order to do that, it takes a substantial investment of money, capital, resources, energy, just to support you guys on the floor. And what we want to do is what, is always what I want to do is keep salespeople in the position to make as many sales as possible. Mm-hmm. That means, supporting you with the best location, the best systems, the best everything, and people to talk to that are interested. Mm-hmm. Now, if I could get you people who are ready to sign up, no matter what, we're just ready to sign up and have order takers, I could have a computer sign them up and I wouldn't need professional salespeople like yourselves. There's something about that human interaction, everything is good. Now, I want you to be seriously focused and take it seriously. This isn't, oh, great, it's going to be great, let's go, oh, that's fun. No. We are challenging you to be worthy of the opportunity that we're about to give you. We're challenging you, we're telling you that right now we can We want to grow this business. We want to grow the agency, and we want to make an investment in you guys in doing that. And all of you guys have an opportunity to ride that wave and get wealthy doing it. But it's not going to happen if you clock in, oh, let me take a call, let me make a call, and you do it the same thing as you. You're going to have to be hyper aware. You're going to have to know the situation you're in. You know what muscle memory is, right?
Mhm.
Let's keep the baseball analogy over. A pitcher throws 1,000 balls, right? He throws 1,000 pitches or 1,000,000 pitches while he's growing up and everything else. Before long, if he's throwing the ball from here and he tries to throw a little sidearm, then everything's going to hurt and it's going to be wrong because his muscle memory, everything is ingrained to do things in exact manner. That's what happens with all of our behaviors in life. From the time we wake up to what we do to how we approach a phone call, every single thing that we do becomes ingrained in memory. And you get used to a certain type of experience. Okay, I'm calling my customers. This is going to happen. I respond to them like this. And, we go from here. And everything you're doing, just like Michael Jordan had a lot of athletic ability, hand-eye coordination, ability to make quick decisions and move quickly and all that translated to baseball. But what you're going to do is a little different. So I want you to just be aware and come in with this with an awareness that I'm going to have to look for the nuance. It may, to the untrained eye, look like the exact same call. It may look like the exact same thing, but for one thing, it's an expensive call. When you hit that get lead button, it's costing additional money outside of just the main support systems. We're paying for the advertising and for the buying of those leads and everything else. So it's going to be more expensive. There's going to be no familiarity. And you're going to have to start looking at that. Okay, so what's the difference in someone where I can say, hey, you remember us, don't you? We've been taking care of you for 5 years. And someone who's like, I was just on the internet. Why am I talking to you now? Who are you? And that's what you're going to get. If there's one nuance I want you to understand and look at, if I can just give you a head start, it's that they don't know you. They don't like you. They can hang up on you. They don't care. You don't already take care of their insurance. There's not a relationship that they care to maintain, and there's no familiarity. They are skeptical of you. Mm-hmm. And that's why it takes salesmanship. Now, the good thing is they're warm enough leads where you can't quickly get past that, but you're going to have to know how to build that rapport calmly and collectively, but build the rapport. Let them know that you're with them. Frank Bryant's we have scripts that have pages and paragraphs of how to build rapport and credibility, and they're all good. Talking about how we've been in Medicare since 1984. We have tens of thousands of clients, and over 40,000 people have made decisions to let us take care of their insurance, and et cetera, et cetera. That's all good credibility building cues. We're not a fly-by-night company, and that makes them feel good. But we work with multiple carriers, all of this, right? Mm-hmm. But Frank Bryant goes, yeah, you're looking for Medicare. I'm a Medicare expert. How can I help you? It's like, that does all of that because it gets them talking, right? Because then they start talking about their needs instead of who are you. And then you listen to them, and then that builds bonding. So I'm talking about a few of these scenarios that, all of those cues have to be let in. So, so you're going to have a different experience. It's 90% the same. Once you get in there, but you're going to have to build credibility, and they haven't already made a decision with you before. So taking a little time and doing those extra things that make them comfortable, or doing the assertive things at the time close to move the sale forward is going to matter a lot. if you may not be assertive and they're like, yeah, sure, let's do it, and they're used to it, and you need to know that you're gonna have to just say, and what we're gonna do is, you're gonna have to learn that recommendation right inside of the takeaway with the order book close followed up. You don't know what I'm talking about, you should spend an hour a day memorizing it until it comes off your tongue at night and all that, because you know what? The recommendation wrapped inside of a takeaway with the order book close on it took me from making $50,000 a year in Lufkin, Texas to who I am today. If it wasn't for that one thing, it wouldn't be there. Now, any of you who are ambitious would have heard that from me and said, well, let me learn that. Let me go home and not sleep until I know that, right? Let me go beg for coaching on it. Let me do whatever I can to do that, right? If you're ambitious, there's no one here who can't be more successful than me in 5 years, at least 10. No one here can't be more successful because we're going big places and we need you guys to rise up and the opportunities limitless where we go. So the question is, what do you need to do to prepare for this opportunity? First of all, I want you to understand the opportunity. I want you to really sit down and think about the opportunity. We are going to go from where we're maintaining clients to where we're building and doubling our size of our block of business in the next couple of years. Okay, what opportunity is that for you? What income stream does that make for you? What management and progress opportunities are we going to have when we go from 10 people in the room to 40 to 100? But just because you're here doesn't mean that you get to be the manager or the global leader or the regional director of anything. Those jobs go to people with the right skill sets. Those jobs, those opportunities go to people with the best ability to manage them and to take care of them and to expand them. So first thing you need to do is learn to believe in the opportunity we have. If you don't understand it, ask questions. Spend some time with it. The second thing you need to do is just come in aware and working on it every day. I want to challenge all of you one thing. Spend 1 hour a day on personal development. Block it off, schedule it. Tell everyone here, I am not available this hour. You can do it on the clock. If it gets you started, because you should build a lifetime habit of personal development. And that doesn't mean, and if it's on the clock, let's make it whatever it is, but let's make it work-centered for the most part. But sometimes that means I need to learn how to be happier. Because if I smile on the phone, I'll sell more policies. So I need to get rid of my junk. But spend 1 hour a day at some point sitting there learning new skills. People think it's funny, but get in your mirror and read that script over and over, the parts of the script that you're fumbling with, the parts that you're needing, just say it out loud. Do it in front of everyone. If you're nervous to do it by yourself, do it in front of everyone. We all talk in front of the phone with each other, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because imagine, we've talked about the, before we talked about upselling, final expense, everyone, we did a whole lot of stuff. No one really took the time to learn it. We didn't sleep it. But imagine if every dollar you are making right now was $2. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? What if you're only a couple hours of hard, uncomfortable work away from making that happen? Would you spend that couple of hours? Or an hour a week? You spend 40 hours a week working, why not spend 41 and make it twice as effective? Or 45, I guess, it'd be 5 hours a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or just spend 5 of the 40, making sure that the other 35 are twice as good. So that's what I want you to do. Work it out yourself. How are you going to do it? 1 hour a day from now to the end of time, I would say.
Okay.
On how to be better. How do I learn the new skills, get new skills? Because here's the thing. Some of you are listening to me and you're inspired. Some of you are going, well, okay, I'm gonna read the mirror or whatever. The difference is, do you have vision or not? Do you believe that there's an opportunity in front of you? Do you believe that in yourselves? Do you believe in yourself enough to believe that you are the person who can have that opportunity? So many people are sitting there with $1 million opportunity in front of them, and they sit there and say, not me, that's for other people, because in their mind, they haven't made that leap that they're capable of having that. And if that's you today, I understand. I've been there. I had to break through that. What limits us in life is our belief about what's possible. If you believe it's not possible, if you're making $35,000 a year and you would love to make 40, and I tell you can make 50, a lot of people won't believe me, even though they're capable of making $250,000 a year. And because they don't believe that, they'll keep working at a level that keeps them at that belief system. But as soon as you believe and you change your worldview completely, change your worldview to the point where you see all that is possible, and you do the work inside to believe that, then all of a sudden you'll own that. You'll be upset that you're not getting it. So I tell you to go do an hour's worth of work a week. I'm just trying to help you get started. If you really do the work to believe that you're supposed to make $250,000 a year, is that not believable? How about $100,000 a year? Think about whatever you think that you could never make and then double it. It's possible. But do the work to get to the highest level that you can believe, and keep expanding your belief of what's possible. And if you do that, and you believe that that is possible, not only possible, but possible for you in this situation, you'll wake up in the morning believing that it's yours. You'll be upset that you're not on that level yet. And all day long, you'll be working to improve your skills and everything else to make that true in your lives. So that's what I'm saying. When we have an opportunity coming, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be handed to you. I want you to think about if you want to be a part of it. If you want to be a part of it, you're going to have to learn the skills to really take advantage of it. And as we go into this next phase, some of you will step up. And so some of you will see this as the turning point in your whole life. You'll say, Brandon came into the meeting this one morning, he challenged us, and I took him seriously, and I did it. And a few years later, you're going to be successful beyond anything you thought possible. Some of you won't. Some of you will go, okay, I'm going to try, and then you're going to go walk out the door, and tomorrow you're going to come in, and you're gonna say, okay, 1 hour, yeah, but I need something to eat, and I had a phone call, and and then as soon as you don't do what you said you're gonna do, then it becomes easier to not do it, and easier to not do it. You're gonna slip back into your comfort zone, and you're gonna work these leads a little bit, you'll sell a few of them, because you can always, with a mediocre job, put some numbers on it. But I think everyone here is possible. I know from everything y'all done, everyone here is capable of putting big numbers up. So, the question is, who do you want to be? Expand your belief system in what's possible, and then believe that you can do it. There's a gap between you being the successful person that you can believe you're going to be and who you are now. And that gap is in your beliefs, in your habits, and how you approach the world. If you're willing to bridge that gap and work on it, and it'll become a lifestyle. And man, I can tell you, once it becomes a lifestyle, all you look back year after year and you say the things that bothered me last year are so petty and ridiculous, and they were all in my head. And then you get to the next level, you get to the next level. I can't tell you how many levels up you go, and every time you get that new level that you never thought was possible, you're like, oh my gosh. You're like, this is nothing. And then you decide to go to the next level, and you look back at the last level, and you're like, I was a child. It's possible, and you can go on that level for eternal growth if you want. This is a springboard where I'm trying to come in and make the investment and put the time in to this company, this small group of people here I really strongly believe in, and say, let's pump some new life, some new blood. Let's become something fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm challenging you all to get on board with me, and I'll take any questions you have. Speechless.
I don't have a question, but I'm down to double up my money.
Brandon, do you remember the reaction in all the agents when you brought in those mirrors?
Well,
It worked. It did work.
He's smiling.
what was the reaction? Why don't you tell everyone?
Everybody thought it was just a ridiculous idea, and all these boxes. We had, I don't know, 50 agents then, and people are just looking at it like, for crying out loud. But I'm telling you, when you did have that mirror sitting there, you did remind yourself to smile, and it does show up in your voice. It does. I thought it was a crazy idea too, just for the record, but it did work, Brandon. So
I thought it was crazy when
kind of a funny memory.
I thought it was crazy when people told me to first do it, and I didn't do it. I resisted doing it. And then finally, okay, let me try it. And I watched myself on the phone and say, hi, this is Brandon from Bob Insurance Agency. Hi, this is Brandon from God. Oh, wow, it sounds different. And I realized it, and I said, okay, I'm going to keep myself accountable. You know why? Because this is real money. I came here to work for money. Why don't I actually try? But it's a million of those little small things that you do, a million, maybe 100 little things that you do to give yourself the advantage every time. Every time you learn something that works, you make sure you do it in every sales presentation. Every time, and sticking to those little disciplines, finding those things that work, eliminating the other ones, and doing those little things. Before long, you've got 100 little great things accumulated right there that have all been time tested and work, and it becomes who you are and what you do. And that's where you find success. And the only way you have that, I can't give it to you. I mean, I can give you things I've learned and suggested. You got to go do those things. But the real people who are successful come in with awareness and self-criticism every day, and they're looking at what they're doing, whether it's good or bad, whether the result's good or bad. You make a sale, what did I do good? What did I do bad? You don't make a sale, what did I do good? What did I do bad? Right? Always self-analyzing what happened. How did I perform? What did I do? Always doing that as a lifetime skill. Just the analysis of it integrates into your brain and makes you get better and better and better. You don't actually have to go, I did this exactly, and so next time I'm going to try really hard to do. Just the analysis itself, just like when you keep baseball, you throw the ball and it goes over someone's head, you don't have to logically think about it again. Like you throw 1,000 balls and before long it goes to this exact space, 50 yards away, and comes to within this little area of someone's, how did you logically make that happen? Your brain saw feedback 100,000 times, and now you can do that, right? Mm-hmm. And the same way, analyzing what happened in every single situation. Where did this presentation go wrong? Where did my day go wrong? Where did it go right? What did I do good this morning? I had a crappy day, but I showed up alert and happy, and I made the first good call, right? And I'll give you a lot of examples because I'm trying to paint the picture of continuously analyzing your behaviors, your actions, and your outcomes from them. the act of doing that will integrate into your successful behaviors. If you have that goal. So yeah, Becky, my job has kind of been to push everyone forever, and they hate me all the time. And a few people, embrace it, and those are the people who become successful. Because I'm not teaching anything that, I was poorer than every one of you guys when I started. I had nothing. I worked from my childhood bedroom, and all I had was a phone and a list of names to call, which was better than my dad had when he started, because he didn't even have a list of names to call. He figured out that you could buy names and cold call people. So I'm not teaching anything that I didn't have to learn myself or whatever else. And hopefully, that you'll take that hour a day as a start. No matter where you are, be honest with yourself, learn the skill, but also learn, why am I getting my own way? How am I getting my own way? What is this resistance I have to doing this thing that's going to, do I not want to make my life better? Am I holding on to something that I really want to hold on to that keeps me down? Should I get rid of it? Be honest with yourself about where you are, and why you do what you do. That's the only way to improve it. So.
I just want to have one comment. I've been here a long time and worked with Brandon through thick and thin, and we've been through a lot of different training scenarios and everything else. And it really comes down to your individual efforts, and just don't give up. Don't give up on yourselves. Believe what you can do every day, and whatever problems you're having, leave them in the car. When you get on that phone, it's a whole different experience. Mm-hmm. This is the first communication you're having with the client. You have one mode of communication, the telephone. You have to make your voice sound good and friendly, and you have to make friends and all that good stuff. There's a lot of little things to it, but it's just a learning process, and the more successes you have, you're going to want to have more success. Mm-hmm. It gets to the point where it's pretty hard to shut that off.
Becomes addictive. I want to say one thing. I want to talk about what's easy and what's hard. I have found in the analysis of everything that I've done that the easiest thing to do is to work your ass off, especially internally. The hardest thing to do is to be poor and to be jumbled up on the inside and to have unresolved issues, things you're not letting go. To sit there and say that I'm a victim, the world sucks, all these things are happening, and that's why this is bad. And to spend your whole life sitting there blaming outside things for your problems instead of looking in and dealing with them the best you can. That's really hard. That's a hard, ugly life to have. The way to not have that life is to work your ass off on being better. Because the neat thing about a skill, stick with the baseball analogy. I went 20 years, I played baseball up through college. I went 20 years without playing baseball, or 15. And a friend of mine was on the local baseball team. I went out and he said, he's a pitcher. He's like, can you catch for me? And I went out there and I was catching, I was framing balls, I was throwing back, hitting right between the eyes with the balls on. I'm like, how am I doing this? It was as if I was watching myself from the outside because I hadn't done it so long, but that skill was still there, ingrained into who I was. I still had it. The great thing about working on yourself is you get new skills. And guess what happens when you get that new skill to solve your problem? You get to keep it. If you solve problems, I've always said in business building, if you solve problems with money, you can get rid of your problem. But then the next problem's going to come, you're going to need more money. If you solve problems with skill and you become the answer, then you get to keep that skill. And those problems never come again because you can swat them off because you learned the skill. You grew through it. So when we talk about hard work, decide what you want to do. Do you want to become awesome, or do you want to have a hard, terrible life like most people do? Becoming awesome takes some work, but it's a lot easier than having a shitty life. I promise. All right, let's go get them, guys. Let's go have a good day. Y'all ready?
Hey, thanks, Brendan.
Happy selling. I'll be around more. I want to see you guys actually do it. I'll be around more. If you guys are doing it, I will invest in you. If you guys actually, if you're not worthy of it, if you don't do it, you don't take advantage of the opportunity will go away. If you take advantage of it, if you do well, I will pour more and more and more and more in you.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take advantage of it.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Brandon.